In this video, I'm going to reveal how you could lose your driving license within a matter of hours from a simple roadside test. Welcome back, I'm the Black Belt Barrister helping you to understand law. And in this video, helping you to avoid losing your driving license within a number of hours. First of all, this is applicable in England, Wales and Scotland, but should be of interest to our international viewers as well. Most of you will know that you must have a certain level of eyesight to pass the standard eyesight test to be driving on a road or other public place. In fact, it is an offence to be driving without being in a position to be able to pass that eyesight test with or without corrected vision, and this offence is provided by Section 96 of the Road Traffic Act 1988, which happens to have a very wordy explanation for the offence, but not without good reason. It provides that if a person drives a motor vehicle on a road while his eyesight is such, whether through a defect which cannot be or one which is not for the time being sufficiently corrected, in other words, you're wearing glasses or contact lenses, that he cannot comply with any requirement as to eyesight prescribed under this part of the Act for the purposes of tests of competence to drive, he is guilty of an offence. Now, this, of course, is just a long-winded way of saying if you are driving without the use of glasses or contact lenses if required, and you could not, with or without those glasses or contact lenses, pass the requisite test of competence for eyesight for driving, you are committing an offence. However, this is where you might be in a position where you could lose your driving licence within a matter of hours. You see, very tragically, in 2011, a 16-year-old girl called Cassie McCord was killed by an elderly driver who didn't have good enough eyesight to drive. Just 3 days earlier, Mr. Horsfall had failed a police eyesight test when he drove into the exit of a petrol station. Upon failing the test, he refused to surrender his license and the police were trying to get it revoked, during which time young Cassie was hit and killed. You see, under the previous rules, the police had to send either a letter or a fax to get a license removed if somebody failed the eyesight test. However, after much publicity about this tragic event and a petition to government, the rules were changed so that the police can now simply make a phone call or send an email. So whilst you may have started out with this video thinking that this is a terrible idea, this story probably would convince you otherwise. And in fact, the power for the police to require you to submit to a roadside eye test is also contained in Section 96 of the Road Traffic Act, which provides that a constable having reason to suspect that a person driving a motor vehicle may be guilty of an offence under subsection 1, driving without good enough eyesight, may require him to submit to a test for the purpose of ascertaining whether, by using no other means of correction than he used at the time of the driving, he can comply with the requirement concerned. In other words, the police can test your eyesight at the roadside using only the glasses or lack of glasses that you were using at the time that you were driving. And if a person refuses to submit to the test, he is guilty of an offence. Upon failure of such a test, the police can now contact the DVLA very much more quickly and have that licence revoked, meaning if someone were to continue to drive with defective eyesight, they would then be guilty of driving without a licence because their licence would have been revoked. Not to mention without insurance, because their insurance would automatically become void because they'll be driving without a licence. And then you might ask, well, how are the police to stop anybody in the first place to try to determine whether they've got good enough eyesight? Well, a Section 163 stop allows police to pull any vehicle over for any reason whatsoever. And moreover, if there's any other reason, such as manner of driving, driving badly, or as in that case, driving into the exit of a petrol station forecourt, the police can also require you to stop and require you, if they have such a suspicion, to take an eye test, just as they would a breath test if they suspected you of being drinking. And fundamentally, uncorrected defective eyesight is reported to have been responsible, or at least partly responsible, for many hundreds of road traffic collisions and several fatalities every single year. And as to the test itself, the current requirement is to be able to read a number plate at 20 metres, which is very approximately 5 car lengths. So again, if nothing else, let this video be a reminder to you to check your own eyesight, because we all let the years slip by without having checked our eyesight. And if there's anyone that you know who is still driving that really ought to be checking their eyesight, for the sake of those that might get hit, injured, or even killed, please ask them to check their eyesight as well and of course to stop driving if their eyesight is defective. In the meantime, I hope this was useful to you. Please like the video and subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching.